Happy Friday. This is going to be the last public live before Christmas, and this is a treat for you guys because normally I am on vacation. Normally I take vacation from like December 15th through the end of the year because it's when we slow down. It's when people are starting to make their holiday plans and spending time with family and friends. So I put out an earlier post and asked for you guys to vote on a couple different signs. So when I checked the post, the overwhelming response to that was you guys wanted to do the welcome sugar. So, which is interesting because I thought I had cupcakes. I don't, but it doesn't mean that you can't add them later. We are going to be adding some other fun, sweet embellishments to this design and taking it a different direction than what I normally do. But before we get started, couple things. Turning notifications on. Facebook. Like the page and follow the page. You might say, I've already done that. I've done that a long time ago. Well, every time we have a Facebook outage or every single time that Facebook doesn't update, it resets everything back to factory defaults. Which means if you've done it in the past, it is likely, if you're not getting notifications, that it has turned itself off. So you have to make sure you're doing two things. Liking the page, which is easy enough. Follow is found under those three little dots. You click on them, it opens up a smaller little menu. You can do things like turn your closed captioning on so you can read it if you cannot hear. You can also make sure that turn live notifications, the little box has like a little round bubble. Just make sure it's checked inside, then you're good. If you're on YouTube, the only thing you have to do is just subscribe to my channel. Now to save the video, all you have to do on Facebook is share it. It does a quick copy paste from this page to your page and you will have it available. If you were on YouTube, all you have to do is click the save button if you have logged in under your YouTube account, and that'll save to your YouTube account. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'll cover the materials as much as I can. A lot of it I won't know until we start putting it together to kind of see where it's all going to fit. So let me pivot you down. Hi, Janie. Welcome. Going a little bit live because a lot of people are leaving their if they're taking a trip. Some people are heading out the door early. We're doing a 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame. I had thought about doing this on an evergreen form, but I changed my mind because we're going to be using 21-inch Deco mesh. So we're going to be using this high foil. It's kind of like a darker magenta, kind of like borders on between magenta and burgundy. And it pairs really well with the sign. So as you can see, I had a couple sign choices. So everything in pink and magenta did not look well, except this color, obviously, besides doing white. So we're going to do a poof base with that 21-inch mesh. Then we're going to come back and we're going to add red and white curls. So these are going to be cut to 10 inches. You're going to need 18 of each, and we're going to be putting them in little bundles, and I'll show you how to do them like this, and then those are going to get tucked into the places in our poofs to kind of elevate it and give you guys something a little bit different. For the ribbons, it's going to change a little bit, and I kind of put some of them away, but let me show you the ones we're going to be using for the bow. So we have this vintage laced heart on white, and then there is a vintage heart on red. So we're going to be combining these two. We have our red and white Swiss dot. We have this one, which is called squiggles and lines, and then we're going to bring in a red velvet heart. And then this is my favorite. This is a new ribbon for this year. It is that same magenta color pink that you see here on our pipe cleaners. This one has hearts and lips and letters. So those are going to be the thing. Okay. That being said, we're going to go ahead and finish wiring together this frame. All I'm going to do is take the pipe cleaner and I'm going to go right in between on the two inside rails, and I'm actually going to wire this one together. And then I'm going to do the same on the outside too, right here. And we're going to do 2 on the outside, 2, 1 on the inside too. And I'm going to show you a new tip that I have, because generally what happens is if you try to use close. So when we are putting in our ribbon tails or separating our sections, these two are super close. These two are a little bit farther away. So it kind of just looks weird. So we're going to do the poof first. And I always start with my inside. So those are my inside 6. I'm going to, and this Deco mesh came from Hobby Lobby. Ugh. Way back in the day. I don't even think Hobby Lobby has this in stock anymore. So this is what we're going to use. I only have 1 roll of it. So this is truly making this one a limited edition read. Let me see if I have. Let me grab a zip tie. Grab looking for a little bit longer ones. And the odd thing is I ordered the wrong size zip ties. I ordered 6 inches, which I could use and I'm going to use today. But normally I always keep in stock 6-inch. So that's on my to-do list. Let me make sure I can see your comments, and let me pin this down to the bottom. So hang tight. Let me get in here. And let me do this really quick. Normally, I always we're waiting for another storm to come in again. That's not unheard of for us, but I heard thunder rumbling before. Of course, why did you delete all of what I had written, Facebook? Okay, hold on. You voted for the other sign? Me too. I actually didn't vote because I really wanted to do the other one, but we're going to do that, I think, on Monday, if not next Friday. So we'll get to both of them. Come on. Okay. Because I love the other sign. It's very vintage, classic looking. So let's see. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Jeannie. Hi, Pam. Hi, Terry. And for those of you, if you can just do me a quick favor, just go ahead and hit the like button or the love button or share this post. And then honestly, if you just delete it after you share it, it just lets Facebook know that there's people there. I don't understand why, but that's what ends up happening in the Facebook world. I'm not a fan when they tape the start of their Deco mesh rolls, because that just makes it all the more messy for us. Okay, so when you're starting with your Deco mesh, I'm just going to drop this. Let me lift it up a little bit higher so you can see. I'm just going to drop this right down below. It's like stuck. Okay, it got stuck on my shelf. And then we're just going to gather this right here. Just like this. Because we want to contain the frays. The frays is where it will fray. So if we can contain this and everything else is a finished edge, we should be good to go. I'm actually going to start underneath one of my pipe cleaners. So I'm just going to take this little ball. I'm going to place it underneath. And I'm going to take this whole mess. I want to make sure that my pipe cleaners are open. And I'm going to go around. And remember, I'm doing this with a 6-inch zip tie, or 4-inch. But we can make it work. Nice and tight. I'm going to go ahead and trim this up because we've got a lot of crazy frays right there. So it just gives us a nice clean edge. I'm going to flip this over and we are going to go in the opposite direction because I have a tendency of poofing to the left. So push your pipe cleaners on the bottom out of your way because they'll love to get in the way. I am measuring out 10-inch poofs. You can go smaller on the inside, it doesn't matter. And I'm just going to go right here into the first pipe cleaner I come to. So just 2 twists. I'm not going to fluff right now. I will fluff at the end. Another 10, and then I'm going to open these 2. And I'm going to place right where I've gathered that, right in the center. Okay, measuring again 10 inches. This is where, now the poof is probably about the 4th hardest wreath base to build. So if you've been struggling on poofs, you are not alone. The tip that I can give you is stay consistent and take your time. What I mean by stay consistent is whatever you decide to poof these to, if it's 10 inches, if it's 8 inches, make sure every single one of them in that section that you're working, like if you're going to do 8 on the inside and then maybe 10 or 12 to the outside, make sure that every single one in that area is exactly the same length. So as you can see, I'm just pulling them back and I'm measuring these out. And then I'm going to drop this one right inside here. Also, when you are using a Deco mesh like this one, which is the high foil premium, wow, that is a really short pipe cleaner. Let me fix that. Let me grab that. Oh, there we go. It just was, it sat on top of the pipe cleaner. And I'm like, what the heck happened? We are really short. You don't want to be short on your pipe cleaners because then you won't have room for everything else. Okay, let me finish this section. So right there is my final. This is now meeting up where we started. So we have to get our first one in that pipe cleaner. Nice tight too. Like I said, I am not doing anything for fluffing just yet. But I am going to take these ones and I am going to push them in the middle so that you can see what I'm doing to the outside 12. So this is where I started. Logic would dictate that you would go straight from here down to the one here, but we're not. We're going to go right over here. Because a 10-inch poof with that short of a jump is just going to look really weird. So I'm going to go right in here. Again, staying consistent on my poof lengths. These are all 10 inches for me. And then going right here, opening, tucking the whole thing. I try to make sure that it is nice and even. Okay. And then going in again. I saw Shelly's comment. Can you share where you purchased your scissors? So those red-handled scissors, I got them from Kringle Designs. So if you go to Kringle, K-R-I-N-G-L-E designs.us, and then go into their search bar and type scissors, you will find them. I love them. They are super sharp though, so it definitely helps cut down on, you know, if you want to cut all your ribbon tails at the same time, you can definitely do that. just be cautious. They're super sharp. Okay, so there's that one. Again, measure, and then move it into the next section. And I know right now it doesn't look like anything. Right now it just looks like a bunch of Deco mesh put in little bundles. But trust the process. This is actually getting hung up on my jacket below, because my jacket is sitting below, baking in the heater. Okay. And then I'm going to take the ones in the center, move them to the center. Measure. So it will look really, it'll look really consistent. It'll look uniform if you keep your poofs the same size. And then you'll see what happens when we fluff everything else. You'll see that everything develops a really nice, level, full base. So you would use poofs when you want a full wreath. So you're looking for volume and height. Normally I do poofs when I don't have an awful lot of stuff, like I'm not going to do a double bow, or I'm not going to do a ton of embellishments in the center. And for me, I have a lot of 21-inch Deco mesh that I have not used in a long time. So this is me using supplies I have, like this discontinued magenta color. Okay, we're almost done. Adding this in here. Hi, Charlotte. How are you? You're most welcome, Shelly. So, hi, Gloria. Okay. Are you guys all ready for Christmas? I know I'm not. Not even close. Not even close. Matter of fact, I was supposed to finish up doing my Christmas shopping today, and there's just not enough time in my day for me to get done all the things that I need to do, and still stay on top of everything. So this is where we are meeting with the one from above. And let's see if I have another pipe cleaner, because I'd really like to just put this one in. I'm looking for that color. There we go. We do this. And look down here. We're looking for hot pink. Lavender. Here we go. Hot pink. Okay. I just don't want to come up short. So I'm going to grab this one, and I'm just going to put it right next to it. Kind of like a over and under kind of thing. Just so I have more than enough, because it's already tied around. So making sure I have enough length. And then I can just take this last poof, place this right inside, and that will seal the deal. Okay, from here, I am going to cut off the rest of this. It's not enough. It's enough to go around one more time, but I'm not going to worry about that. From here, I'm going to move my pipe cleaner out of the way. I'm going to take this and tuck this inside. Here's that area where we started. So I'm going to grab and pull this in. And I am going to put my zip tie right here. I'm going to attempt to hold that. It's very small quantity. I get my Deco mesh around there. It's enough. It's just, it doesn't give me any leeway. There we go. So now we'll cut the rest of this so that it'll end nice and tight, just like that. We'll trim this off, and now we're gonna fluff. So I'm flipping this over, and I'm gonna start with the outside. I always wanna make sure that I take my pipe cleaners and move them to a location where I know where they are. Because when we come in here with our curls, I need to know, hey, where did my pipe cleaner go? So these are coming to the outside. So all you're doing is those little bundles, you're just going to fluff them out. So I'm grabbing the edges and I'm just uncurling them. So they turn into nice little bubbles. Grab the wrong side. And so I always like to make sure my finished edges go to the inside. Again, find your pipe cleaners, move them to the outside, and then fluff. Just like so. Again, moving these to the outside. Find my other pipe cleaner. Here's that edge. So I like to take the edges and move them towards the center of the rail. So they go to the outside, underneath, and then they go to the middle. And then just make sure you've got some good little poofs. Move to the center. So you've got 12 on the outside, you've got 6 on the inside, so there is 18 locations for you to hunt and find your pipe cleaners and to un-floof your floofs, your poofs. You can actually do this while you are putting your poofs in as well. There are people who do that. And you can tell when you reach in there how thick they are. And you're like, I didn't do that one. Okay, so this is where we stopped. So now I'm going to go inside and do the same thing. Here's my jump down. So I've got to tuck that in so it looks like it makes sense between all the others. It's going to fill our inside and fill the outside. Just really pull them apart and then take your edges and tuck them in. Right, Terry? It is very bright. It's almost like a raspberry color. And it's weird that they don't make this color anymore. Maybe they will. I just haven't seen it. I looked at Craft Outlet's version. I actually have that. And it is more pink, whereas this one's got a little bit more of a red burgundy tone to it. Okay. There should be our last one. That was our jump spot. Okay. So there is our nice big poof. It right now is roughly about 22 inches. And there might still be spots where you can kind of see little things. There's a trick. If you're just going to do the Deco mesh poof method on this and nothing else, then you can definitely add that last little bit. It'll go around one more time, and you can actually put it in the center and just run it through, and that'll eliminate those gaps. But remember, we are adding a 10-inch white and a 10-inch what do you call them? Deco mesh curls. I know, it is so much fun, right? Okay, so I like to use my Bodabra and just preload this because it'll hold 6 curls. And so to get them started, it's easy when it's a new roll. It's actually easier when it gets closer to the center. But to make sure they're all consistent, you're going to basically fold the first inch and then move your fingers to the outside and just roll it. So there's that one. Same thing, an inch, move your fingers to the outside and continue to roll. There's that. This one's a little bit more like towards the top of your Deco mesh roll, so 1 inch over. And then roll it. We don't want them flat. We want them to look like rolls. They're curls. So we're going to add these to introduce the red and the white in this design. Ooh, sticking to my sweater. There's that one. And then we've got this. So we're making these into little bundles. It just makes it so much easier. This is combining the poof method with the curls. So 10 inch, you'll need 10 white, 10 red for, and you're going to put them in every single one of those pipe cleaners. Okay, so from here, what you're going to do, because I saved 3 of my 6-inch zip ties. I actually had 3 left. You're going to kind of put them in a little X pattern, which is kind of nice. It's like, you know, X's and O's. X's represent kisses and O's represent the hugs. So these are the hugs. These would be the kisses. And then you're just going to go ahead and cinch them on pretty good. It just makes it easier to go in and just add those all to those bundles. So that's why I preload. So far you've used 1 roll of 21-inch mesh, and then you'll use about half of a white and half of a red, making these little X's. Here's the last one. So just crisscross. I'm actually doing this one a little backwards, but usually I put the head of my zip tie at the top, not the bottom, but it just wound up where it did. Okay, there's that. Put this away. Now we are going to take each one of these, and right where we have our pipe cleaners, you don't have to open it. You're just going to go straight down into the center, and you're going to twist, twist, twist. On the inside 6, we're going to remove our pipe cleaners. So just once you push them in, I kind of like making them go like a little opposite thing. And then I'm going to remove the remainder of my pipe cleaner. And I cut these Deco mesh curls with the wood burning tool, just to make sure that I don't have any wayward frays. Once they're confined in a curl, it's generally pretty easy. And you can move them around any which way you want. So you can put, you know, white where you want them. Let's find our other pipe cleaner. Push this right in the center. And I've already got the other, was it 13? No. We've done 3. There's 18. I've got the other 16 already built. So this should go fairly quick. So we're just going to go through, add them to the inside. Snip the remainder. I like to tuck it over that zip tie so we've got that little pop of pink. And here's our other one. See, those pipe cleaners go wayward. They like to just bury down into the center. Hi, Arvina. Okay, just keep taking. Usually I just grab them both at the ends and just lift them. Here's the last one. There's one. Here's the other. And you'll see that these ones are perfect. So we're just building volume without adding weight. But because our sign has purple, it has white, it has red, it has pink in it, I'm like, okay, we need to introduce some of those, but not all of them. So even where our, you know, some of our ribbon is going to be pink, some of it's going to be red, some has red and white with pink. So we're doing this to the outside. These will become more along the lines of the sides of your design. So we're doing the same thing, but we're not removing these ones. These are where we're going to add some ribbon tails and some fun embellishments. So try to make sure, you know, you've got your, I'm going to put the white in there. Same thing. So I'm really pushing them all the way to the center. Again, you can see how it's adding a lot of volume in here. Okay. This is why I had you locate your pipe cleaners and pull them to the outside. It just kind of makes that process go a lot more quick. Okay. So however you want to manipulate your curls, if you want more red next to a white, just spin your curls wherever you would like them to be. Just like that. You can have them go X this way, you can have them go X sideways. And now these will fill all those gaps where we had gaps in the wreath where you're like, oh, I can kind of see in these little pockets. Not once you add these. Those will remove all those openings. Oops. Okay. I think we have two more. Yes, we do. Still making sure I don't have edges facing up. They just don't look very pretty. Okay, so as you can see, we have greatly increased the volume of our wreath. And so now we're sitting at 25 inches. So we've added 3 inches just by adding those little poofs and curls. Not only that, we have definitely hit our 6-inch height down here. So before I add my sign, I'm going to go around the outside, just those outside 12, and we're going to put in a couple ribbon tails. And let me show you what I have planned for these. So we have, remember how I showed you that that white lace pattern shows up on the red, and it also shows up on the white. We're going to be alternating those as we go around, and we're pairing that with a red and white heart. Okay, these two are going together. The 2.5-inch ribbon is cut to 14-inch pieces. The 1.5 is 19. And then we're pairing that with it's hearts on pink now. It's like a bubblegum pink color. And we're pulling in that magenta color back into our design. Same thing with the measurements. 2.5 inches are cut to 14. The 1.5 are cut to 19 inches. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my already pre-cut and dovetailed ribbon in half so that I can find the true center. I'm going to go straight up. I'm going to lay that directly in just a half a twist of my pipe cleaner, and then I'm going to elongate and pull those out. This is going to enhance what we see on the sides. Then I'm going to take the 1.5, bringing the dovetailed edges together. I'm going to go up 2 inches from the top of my ribbon right here, 2 inches, and I'm going to take that, and that is getting laid directly on top of that ribbon tail. Now I'm going to twist, twist, twist. You could go all the way around. You could add pink, whatchamacallit, scatters and fillers. You can add red scatters and fillers. It's entirely up to you. I have a different thing in mind. So I'm going to be removing these. So then I'm going to cut off the excess of what I didn't use. I'm going to take this leftover bit, run it right behind that loop. I'm going to open the loop, and then I'm going to, I have one side that's right side up, the other side that's wrong. So I'm going to rotate the ribbon so that I have both right side ribbons facing, and then I'm going to just pull them to the outside. Okay, this will elongate and draw our eyes outward. Now, we're going to go in and do the pink exact same way. Fold it in half to find true center. We're going to lay that right inside and pull those out. It's nice because they sit on the curls. Same thing. We're going to bring our 1.5 ribbon in 2 inches. We're going to lay that inside. Give it a couple twists. I like to give it a lot of twists so that there's no possibility of that ever working its way loose. Leftover bit goes behind. We right side. For me, it's always the left. And then I'm going to fan those out so we can see both. Lots of heart ribbon. Okay, now we are approaching a different, this is like the same, it's still the heart-shaped lace, but this is on white, whereas the first one was on red. And honestly, I had just enough to do it so that I could feature both in the design. So now we're doing the same thing. Pinch in, place that right in the center. What's nice about the curls is you can move them out of the way. So if they are blocking, just move them. Pull them out of the way, shift them, whatever you need to do so that your ribbon, you can even take and draw them closer to the center. The ones in the center, just pull them towards the center. Take the last remnant, and then same thing. We want to be able to see all those pretties. The other color, it's actually red, Esther. So the pink is actually a magenta color, and the red that looks orange in the video, it's just paired with that magenta. It's giving off like a weird orange color. But you'll see once we tie the sign in, it'll kind of all match. Hi, Judy. Welcome. Hi, Sally. Is anyone here for the first time? It's interesting because when I first started wreath making and started watching all the Facebook Lives, that's where I met my fellow crafters that we would later become like really good friends and crafting buddies and all the things. See, it's weird. If you look at it here, it's red. It's just that magenta is really raspberry colored. Hi, Darlene. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Okay, so now we're coming in. This is that jump spot where I had that I had to add the extra pipe cleaner. So I'm going to pull these down so I can get this back down to the level. Add our red. It's just weird. It's like when they design the sign, it's like, I don't see lavender with Valentine's Day, but okay. And so lavender's like on the cupcake liner. If you didn't have regular like 1.5-inch ribbon, you could come in and you could add in, whatchamacallit, let me twist my extra pipe cleaner to make sure it doesn't come loose. You could use flex tubing. You can pick that up at the Dollar Tree. And you could add white, red, and pink. That would be a little bit more like the softer pink, not quite so much like the magenta raspberry pink. I like got my off center. It was like slightly off. That's interesting too. We've had some really warm days up here. Really warm days. Like warm for winter. So like almost 60. It's like a good summer day here in Washington. So I was debating whether or not I wanted to go. I think I am. I think if I have the opportunity to tomorrow, I'm going to add the garland to my windows and door frame. And then I'm going to leave it up year round and just switch it out for the holidays to give the outside of the house more of a like holiday punch. Okay, see, so I'm not odd, Sharon. I don't like this warm weather. It's really hard for me to get into the Christmas spirit. But we're supposed to have rain. First year we were here, I think that it had snowed 4 or 5 times and no snow so far. Hi Heidi, welcome. So again, we're back to alternating this heart ribbon. So it's either hearts on red or hearts on white. So this is like red on red and this is red on white. Right, Cheryl? Are you back from camping? Or are you still out camping? There we go. Oh, you're home now. Okay. I remember you said you were going to come home on the 20th, but I didn't know how late on the 20th. Okay, out. Have, I think, 5 more left. Wow, this just feels like it's taking a long time. It's because it's so thick. And so most of the time I'm like already doing 2 or 3 things in that section, putting scatters and fillers on the end. But I'm also re-maneuvering all of my ribbon tails so that you can actually see them going around. And I know it's like a lot of real estate in the middle. So this is one of those things to consider when you're like, I don't know if I should do a poof or a ruffle or a curl or a criffle. If you want something that is full, really full, curls with poofs will do it. Okay, I'm just manipulating that poof out of the way. And then I'm gathering in, placing that right on the inside. And I think for me, I still want to keep this classy, like a classic look. I don't want to go like too crazy with candy. Because to me, it's like Valentine's Day is more about candy, flowers, romance. I don't see the association with the cupcakes. I guess maybe for kids. And so a poof will also challenge you because the area to get down to those pipe cleaners is gonna be 5 inches down. Whereas if they were sitting flat, you are not going to have that depth problem that you face with a poof style wreath. But we just haven't done one for a while. Okay, flipping. So I'm always putting my finger underneath the ribbon and pulling them out so they don't stay flat. And I'm not a fan of the like polyester silk kind of ribbon like these ones are. I've had these for a while. So I only had enough, and this was on a brand new open roll. I only had enough to do, that didn't stay in, just the tails to the outside. So it was only like 9 feet. Was it 9 feet? Yeah, 9 feet of ribbon on that. Okay, we've got 1 more to go. Still, last one. Oop, I didn't even dovetail that side. It was weird. I came across this ribbon earlier and I was like, how did this piece not get cut? I must have stopped. I cut one side, but I didn't cut the other. Because this is the second piece I've had to do that too. Okay. Alrighty. Let's bring that up. Do the last little twist. Cut off the little bit that remains. Okay, so we've got all of our outside pieces all present and accounted for. Everything's looking nice and pretty. So here is our sign. So now you can kind of see where the whole theme came from. This didn't look well paired with like a solid red base, and it washed out when I did a solid white. So that's why we decided to come in and elevate it, because it does pair really well with this raspberry color, because it's found in some of our ribbon as well that you'll see we're featuring on the bow. So with this, I'm going to set this aside. This sign is from Craft Outlet. Let me also tell you really quick where all the ribbon came from. So the lace hearts on white is from Craft Outlet, and so is the lace hearts on red. The Swiss dots is from Craft Outlet. The squiggles and lines, Craft Outlet. Actually, they all are. The one that has the hearts, the XO, the letters, the lips, everything, that was Craft Outlet. And then the velvet hearts on white is Craft Outlet. So those are going to be our bows. I'm not doing 1.5 inches because I don't want to overwhelm this with wide ribbons. I'd rather stay with the 1.5 inch look. So with that, let's go ahead and create our bow. So I'm going to pair these and mix them up in different patterns. So I like to kind of just manipulate everything. So I'm like pink, pink, red and white, red and white, red and white, but that should work. I tried to find the right color pink to match this, and you're either getting like bubblegum pink, Pepto-Bismol pink, or like a fuchsia. There's none that kind of fall in here. This is a tertiary color, very hard to match. So I just chose to keep it red, white, and whatever colors pink there were. So that's how I'm setting this up for my bow. Wow, Terry just got hit with 8 inches of snow yesterday in Wisconsin, hoping for a white Christmas. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's like, where's the snow been? Haven't had much of a snow. Okay, so again, this is that satiny ribbon. I love it when it's on canvas, but at least this feels thicker. I'm going to cut the folded end off. And we're going to follow the same bow recipe that I do, even if we were doing 2.5 inch ribbon. And I just blew the dovetail demo, so I'll show you when we finish. We're going to measure this out to 10 inches. So right here is where I'm going to gather, and I'm going to twist, and this is going to go right inside my Bodabra. Right side is where we start. Then now we're on the wrong side. So we're going to flip that around. We're going to kind of guesstimate. I'm going to take my Bodabra and line this up on the 10-inch line, so that when I stretch this out, I want to see it at like, it's like 5.25. Normally I go 5.5, but this ribbon does not have an awful lot of strength to it. It's thick enough, but if I want it to last and be stable, I'm going to keep the lengths a little shorter. So we're going out 10 inches. We're going to trim that up. So dovetail end is where we're going to take our wired edges, bring them together. And when you have that slippy ribbon, I like have a tendency of like using my fingers up here to hold it. I'm going to cut from the fold to the wired point, and then we get a really nice dovetail, which makes all your Christmas presents look great. Hi Deborah, welcome. Thank you for the stars. I appreciate you. So if you guys don't know what stars are, it's basically like a way to tip, or sometimes we fundraise. We're going to be doing a lot of fundraising in 2025. I kind of stepped away from that for a while. don't know why either. I'm actually cutting my pins down because these are a little too long. They're like 2-inch pins. So I usually just cut them down to 1.5 inches because they're a little too long for me. Okay. So what stars are, it's each star represents 1 penny. So when you gift somebody stars, that's basically what you're doing. Okay, so same thing, dovetail the end. We're going to go 9.5 inches in, and this time we're going for a solid 5-inch loop length, which means when I bring it up and around and down, bring it back over to the 10-inch line, because that allows me to see, hey, am I really 5-inch? And I'm measuring it from the end of my ribbon. So I'm on my 10-inch line. As I pull this out, I want this edge right here to end at 5 inches. And then when I pull my tail out, it's going to be at 9.5. And then we're going to dovetail the end. And that one's done. Just that quick. Okay, now we're going to do the squiggles, which I love. It looks like I was going to be so disappointed. Originally, I thought it was on the satin, but it's not. But it is a really good weatherproof type of a texture, which is good because it makes it very stiff, as you can tell. And this one's going to be 9 inches in length. And then we're going to go with a 4.5-inch loop. So I always just kind of gauge and then bring it up, measure it, pull it out. If I'm right where I need to be, I'm good. Go to the other side. Make sure I'm where I need to be. And then back out. 9 inches right on that squiggle. Okay. There's that one. And I think this ribbon, believe it or not, on Craft Outlet was like in their clearance. So that's where I shop. Like right now when I'm trying to buy ribbon, I will always go in and shop the on sale or clearance or discontinued. Number one, it gives your wreaths a value because nobody else can replicate them next year when those ribbons are now out of stock, which is what I like to do. I like to give customers an exclusive look designed just for them. So this one's 8.5 inches for the tail length. And now I am also doing 4.5 inches. So because I've measured the bottom, I'm going to put both fingers in my loops and pull. And then do that on the opposite side. Usually I can get them pretty close. And then stretch this back out to 8.5. And dovetail again. And this is painted on canvas, so it's very thick, but it holds up really well. I was hoping I was going to have more of this left for the other wreath that I want to do, because it kind of falls in love with like the classic, like one of my favorite movies is You've Got Mail. So if you ever want to see the original, it is The Shopper on the Corner. It is based around Christmas. So I actually watch it during Christmas. It's with Jimmy Stewart. I forget the other actress's name, but the shop owner is the wizard from the original Wizard of Oz. And it's a very classic movie. And so that's where I kind of was leaning into that design. So we're doing 8-inch tails and 4-inch loops for this ribbon. So same process. You can see I'm just consistent over and over, because now this is just like, it's muscle memory. I've done it so many times that now this is just like what I do. Okay, last one. We should have enough. Okay, so dovetail the end. This one's going to be 7.5 inches and a 3.5 inch loop. And if you lost those directions or didn't write them down, if you go to my website, which is pinned to the bottom, KatsCreationsNMore.com, and about halfway down you can sign up for the email list that's there. You can also download the bow recipe, which is the exact same one I'm showing you here, except in that recipe I do 2.5 inch instead of all 6.5 inches. I just wanted this one to kind of not be so over the top. Let's get, I'm trying to decide, red pipe cleaner, white pipe cleaner. I have white right here, so we'll use white. Okay, so I just get this in a little U shape. Almost forgot my dovetail. Okay, now I'm happy. So I bend it into U because it's much easier to do that ahead of time. So now I'm going to pick these up. I'm going to drop my pipe cleaner down. I'm going to hold it at the bottom and I'm going to twist. So I'm holding just like that. Thank you, Charlotte. She says, such pretty ribbons. Hi, Anna. Welcome. So I'm going to grab my fluff board. Had to get my wreath off of it. I see your comment, Anna. It says it's so hard to believe your, and then that's the end of it. Not sure what the other half of that should be. So this is a 24 inch by 24 inch by 1 inch thick piece of pre-cut lumber. I went to Home Depot. I bought it. It's in the pre-cut section. I added an 1.5 inch screw in C-hook or cup hook. And then I just covered this. Oh, you edited it? Did I miss your comment? I'm not seeing it. I covered it with a, what do they call it? It's like vinyl. It's like textured vinyl strips. So they come in 6 inch pieces. And as you can tell, 6, 6, 6, and 6 perfectly. And then it just makes for a really nice finished fluff board. To tell you, like, look. I legitimately purchased a pre-cut piece of lumber, but it doesn't look like it on this side. Looks really nice. So technically you could get a dual look, like you could do the darker one and then do the lighter and you'd have two-tone looks. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to loop it under my C-hook to hold it. Oh, doing Valentine's Day early? Well, not really, because it's December. So we're supposed to be 3 months ahead. So January, February, March. We're supposed to be doing St. Patrick's Day. So I just got these signs in. So everything has been running late. So I'm going to do a down bow. So this is going to go under my sign. So the first thing you're going to do is bring all of your ribbon tails down. Just down, down, down. So all of our tails are at the bottom. Now, to fluff. Here's all our tails. You're going to take the top two. You're going to lift. You're going to put your fingers in those loops and give them some love. Breathe some life into them. Don't have them have like the little creases on the end. Then on the opposite side, just kind of do a nice little crisscross pattern. It's just visually interesting that way. from here, you're going to take your next two, and rather than bring hearts on top of hearts, I'm actually going to bring that curly key ribbon up, and then I'm just going to kind of allow that one to sit. From here, I'll bring the heart up and put the curly cues in the center, just like that. And then we're going to do the same with the bottom two, whatever your fancy is. I think I'm going to go, trying to get my finger in that satiny, silky ribbon. Just did not want to go. I'm going to pull those up. From here, I'm going to go opposites. So now just kind of manipulate it so that you see all the colors you like, however you want them done. And then from here, you're just going to take them and run them through your fingers like they're scissors. And that'll just kind of put that little arch back in. Getting these way underneath. And then you can just like fan it out for displaying if you're going to sell these. This is what I would do for pictures, is I would make sure all of my, you could see all the colors and all the patterns and all the pretty things, right? Just like so. Okay, just like there. Okay, so that is our bow in a nutshell. It's all really pretty, because now when we go and put this down below, it's going to sit right here, which is super sweet. I'm going to prepare my sign right now, so I'm going to just cut that twine off of it. I'm going to move my my fluff board, pop that off. I'm actually going to take my hook out. It just prevents people that are walking in my shop when they just throw things on the counter. I've had it dented a couple times, so they just, it's an optical illusion. They automatically think that it's flat with nothing in it. So, okay, oops, sorry, we're prepping our sign. Prepping the sign. So we're going to flip it over. We need to remove that label, or you can just take your business card and you can tape right over the top of it, or you can get a label scraper. You can get these at like AutoZone, Chief Auto Parts, whatever. It's just like a little, I guess guys use them for taking things off the windshield, things that you can't normally get off. So it just makes it super easy. Saves your nails, saves your manicure. And now I'm going to add my business card. Just like that. You need to make sure it's right side up. It does have holes in the top already. I don't think that I'm going to use that. I usually prefer going on the side. So there's my business card, hot glued, so that the customer, if they toss the business card or it gets misplaced, not to worry. So I'm going to go ahead and use a 1.5 millimeter beadsmith metal hole punch. And I'm going to just punch a hole in my sign. Just like that. There's like a little lip on it, so I'm just kind of putting my hole punch right into the lip. And let's see, I'm going to use floral wire because we have so much Deco mesh in there. I'm cutting these in about 14-inch pieces. It's 22 gauge floral. You get them in a roll like this from Michael's. I'm going to flip this over, putting my wire in the side. Oops, just like so. I'm going to make sure my wire is even. Build right over the top of that hole. So I'm just twisting my wire right over the top. That'll keep the sign laying flat on the wreath instead of having the wire show coming out the side. Again, just twist your wire right over the hole. It like puts about a 1/4 inch base on it so that I can take this, grab my wreath. It's gonna kind of nestle in here a little bit more to the top than it is to the bottom. I do have a pipe cleaner right here that I see, so I'm going to take advantage of that one. It's hard to believe that this was a Dollar Tree wreath frame. So that's just kind of crazy too. Okay. So I'm attempting to work that down. I've got it. So I'm going to pull my little curls out of the way. So I'm going for the top 2. Okay, trying to get that in. I'm going to have to get that one curl out of the way. Meaning this one. Lift it. I'm going to pull that one out of the way. It's like pushing my sign up too far. Just like this one, push it. If you want them to stay down, then you can have them go down to the bottom, but I want mine, some of them anyway, to come up to the top. Okay. I am trying to get this in. Pulling. Pull. There we go. I've got some curls that are in the way I need to move. Namely these ones. You can see them. They're underneath. It's keeping my sign from laying flat. This one I'm going to go ahead and just let it go flat underneath so we don't have like crazy curls up at the top. Okay. And that one I want to move around. I like the way that's laying. Okay. I am going to take some of these right here, because this is where our bow is going to go. So we might need to get creative and tuck in some of those right down in here, because otherwise our bow's going to fight sitting up on top of these. So I'm going to have these curls right here actually elevate and lift my sign up. Keep that one out. Okay. I think I can squeeze that in there. There we go. Okay. Let's get our bow in. Okay. So now I've got to get that in and make sure as well that I've got it around a wire. Just want to make sure I come in. I don't want to pull my bow all the way down to the bottom of the wreath frame, because that will flatten my bow. But I am going to redirect some of my ribbon curls so that they just lay in a different manner. So it's not redirecting where I want my ribbons to go. Look how pretty. So festive and so fun. Just like that. Look how pretty. So that's all we've got so far. I I kind of feel like I need to do something right here. So I am going to create a little hand-tied bow. I'm trying to think. I like the pink, I think. Like I like this. Let's try this one. I'm going to set this aside and show you how simple it is to do hand-tied bow. So dovetail your end. And I'm going to do tail length at 6 inches. So I'm going to bring this in at 6. What is in my right hand, I'm passing to my left. And then I'm going to go, let's see, if I want a 3.5 inch bow, I'm going to need 7 inches. So I'm going to go 7. We're going to gather in. I'm going to hand it off to my left hand and I'm going to twist. Then I'm going to measure out another 7 inches. We're going to gather. I'm going to hand it to my stack, and then I'm twisting again so that tail winds back up where it's supposed to. Let's get a nice pretty pink pipe cleaner. So I'm just going to pull that in nice and tight, and we will dovetail the end. We are still there. I'm like, for some reason it felt like it was longer, but it's not. Okay. So by using the pipe cleaner, it's going to allow me an ability to go in and anchor that to the center. Right in here. There's our center pipe cleaner. It is also pink. So I'm just going to reach in and grab it. And I want to position this first of all, because I don't want to pull it all the way down to the frame. Otherwise it'll sink too far down. Okay. If we need to trim our ribbon, we can definitely trim the tails, which I feel like we need to do. Because right now it like impacts our sign. So let's trim off about 1.5 inches. So we have a cuter little bow. We can actually bring that up. There we go. So there is what we have thus far. Okay, so what are we adding to this as far as embellishments? Because we don't have the purple cupcake. Well, Michael's had these picks. I've had them forever. So they're kind of fun little heart-shaped. They're like not exactly like 100% heart-shaped. They're kind of like an oddball looking type of a heart. It's kind of like a melted heart, kind of. So look, you can see them more prevalent on the bigger ones. So like those. They're kind of like just curvy hearts. So I'm thinking, what do I want to put in the center? Let's see, there is a small little heart, which we can add, but you kind of miss it. Let's do, I'm looking to see what else is on that pick. There's pearls, but you don't see them, but I will add those for something else. I wish they made these a little bit smaller, but they don't. But I think I'm going to put that in anyway. It's going to kind of come throughout the bottom. So I am going to add glue to this. I'm going to try to not burn myself. and add that to the center of our bow right there. We're going to add the bigger one down here to this one. And we're going to use quite a few of these on that pick. It's just so hard to position that. But I kind of like those. So where we have this candy ribbon, I kind of feel like I want to come in and add these little pearl accents. So I'm just going to add a dab of glue right underneath, and I'm going to put the little pearl in there. So I'm going to show you just like that. We're going to add a little pearl accent. And under, thinking the red hearts. Let's see what else we have. So let's go around really quick and let me add these to all those little magenta ones. So sometimes you can get away with a lot of things in a simple pick. Like a lot of options. So I'm just taking these. You can also find little clear pearls at the Dollar Tree in their craft section. So just a little visual interest there. And right up underneath, it just allows me to put the glue on the base of the bow and then just go stick the pearl in it, rather than to risk getting burnt in the process by trying to hold it and twist it around and maneuver it into position. There's that one. Did I get them all? I think so. Okay. I'm trying to think. Like, these ones are a little odd in that I can't really do much. Let me see if I have some small little red hearts. I think I do. I brought my Valentine embellishment bin out. And I do. And I think these came from Amazon. So they're just like little small foam hearts with glitter on them. So I'm just going to cut these off. Put these on the back. And these are going right underneath the same spot where our little pearls are going. But under, I'm trying to make sure I'm like pulling the piece out. And I'll show you what these look like up close. Let me just put these on. So I can just take them and pull. And number one, that helps hide that hot pink pipe cleaner as well. So I will link these when this goes to replay, and I'll look for these little styrofoam hearts for you guys and put that link for where you can find them. They're great to have because you can use them in so many different places. I've got one to do right here. There we go. And I think I am done. If you wanted to add confectionery candy, you could definitely do that. I did pull some out, like I had these things where I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, but we could, like I could put that one like there. And let's see, that one's round. So I only have one round, but I have 2 squares. So what if we put one here and one there? Ooh, I like that. I think that will like cement the design. So then that way we can honestly say we adhered to the welcome sugar thing. So touch point for me is completely on the back of this candy piece. So I am loading it heavily with Gorilla Glue. And I want it to kind of come in here. It's also camouflaging where my metal wire is on that. Okay. And then I'm going to go to the other side. And we're going to do it the same right in here. So the whole touch point is the back. So I want to make sure we have a good connection point. Angling it the same exact way. Right over our wire. Again, hiding the mechanics of what it was that we did. Okay. You guys ready to see it on the front door? We're done. But this is like an over-the-top wreath. These are called, when I design these, I label these like almost everything but the kitchen sink. I like try to put as much stuff in it as I possibly can without it looking overly crazy. So let me make sure I got all my tails fanned out here and work some of my, here's glue thread from that candy, because we'll see it on the black door here in a second. But it's easier for me to get the top while I have it laying flat, so I don't have to reach. Glue thread, good thread. Okay, ready? Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. Okay. See, I knew I was going to grab that glue thread where I could. I'm going to rehang this so I can get it back on my hook. Centered on my hook. Okay, so there we have it. I'm going to bring all my ribbons that are like, they're going down and under, so I'm going to bring them forward so you can see that they all go all the way around. And let's tuck that up. Tuck that up. Okay, what do you guys think? That's the design in a nutshell. It is a very full wreath. That is, yeah, right? Elizabeth's like, it's over the top. This is like almost one of those designs that I do with my private group. We like look for things that we can add. Sorry, I want to like edit that better. So I'll zoom in so you can see what to do when you don't necessarily have a ton of embellishments, but you still want to make it look sugary sweet. So those are the options you have. If you have areas like right in here where it's a lot of red, super simple. Just redirect your curls to those areas so that we can pull them in. And like right up in here, we can just reallocate those spaces and bring the curls back up and get rid of some of that overwhelming, like if you have space where it's just a little too, whatchamacallit, a little too red. That's the great thing about the curls is we can redirect. So there you guys have it. I am going to go ahead and take photos of this. This is actually available on my website. All you will see is the sign. You won't see anything else. It's a really good deal too, by the way. So if you're interested, it's pinned down below, KatsCreationsNMore.com. If you're interested in joining the private group, you can also do that. at the website, and there's 3 different ways you can join. You could do month to month, you could do yearly, or you can do lifetime. And you'll find all that information on the website. And I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, and I hope that you guys all stay safe and that I rejoin you again when I see you guys next week, Friday. So have an amazing Christmas, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now, everyone.